All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I want to go ahead and get us started. I know we have limited time here, but we are so excited that everybody has carved out some time to come and join us today. And hear a little bit more about our on-the-go transportation services that we can help provide you. Can we go to the next slide? So my name is Kelly Earnhardt. I'm the Senior Vice President of On the Go. I have been with the On the Go team for about 2 months now, so still very new, but learning so much. I've spent the past 15 years at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, but I'm so excited to be a part of this very dynamic team that is fulfilling an essential requirement for communities all over the U.S. And so with me today, who you will also hear from, is Shayna Hazen. She was instrumental in launching this on-the-go program as she saw a desperate need in the community for this type of service. And so she has plethora of information. If I don't know the answer or Maureen doesn't know the answer, Shayna has the answer. And then we're also welcoming Maureen Glazer here today with us as well. She's been with the team since the very beginning as well. And she is what I like to call the Renaissance woman of all things, as she oversees everything operationally. So at On the Go, we recognize that transportation can be transformative experience. And so everyone deserves to have that dignity in their lives. And no matter their age or circumstance, and in having something as basic as transportation to help them go get their hair done or go to the grocery store or pick up, their medications or be able to intellectually stimulate and engage with another human being or attend family functions. There's so many options out there. Nobody should be neglected because of transportation. And so seniors, people with disabilities, and those without vehicles who have limited access to public transportation can experience higher instances of social isolation. And this can increase the risk and numerous health problems from depression, dementia, cardiac arrest, and even lead to early death. So On the Go prioritizes your riders and places them at the core of what we do. And so we are a division of CARS, which stands for Charitable Adult Rides and Services. And like us, they are also a nonprofit that supports other nonprofits throughout, not just On the Go, but also through vehicle and real estate donations as well. And so now that you have a little more information about who we are and our team, I'm going to flip it over to Shayna, who's going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into how we can support your clients and are designed to meet your needs. Shayna?
Thanks so much, Kelly, and great to see all of you from Catholic Charities around the country joining us here today. I am in San Diego and have had the opportunity to work with Catholic Charities here and know all of you do such important and impactful work for people all over the country and in each of your communities. As Kelly mentioned, our work is centered around each individual client, each rider that we support and for whom we provide freedom of transportation. And so we always like to start by highlighting some of their stories. So these are our actual riders. And one that I'd like to highlight is Fung, who said, "I like that there is a caring agent who helps me schedule rides and can speak my language." We know that for so many people, their experience with On the Go, their really positive experience, isn't just wonderful because they received a ride from point A to point B, but it really is the conversation they have with that caring agent who is scheduling the ride for them. We know that for many people, that might be the only person they've spoken to the entire day. And so our agents take that work very seriously. And I will point out one other story, which is Rebecca. Rebecca's father had early Alzheimer's, and could not remember much, really didn't remember much about his day to day. But what he did remember when he was coming up on a big birthday were his on the go agents. And Rebecca called us and said, my dad doesn't remember a lot, but he really loves his agents. Can one of them come to his birthday party? And we were actually able to arrange it so that somebody, actually Maureen, who's here with us today, not an agent, but an essential team leader, was able to join them. But that's the impact we're having. Even for people who can't remember details of their day-to-day, they do remember on the go and a wonderful experience they've had. We work with organizations just like yours all over the country. We're focused on providing safe, dependable, affordable rides to organizations who serve people with barriers to transportation. So social service agencies, disability inclusion agencies, and we do a lot of work in the older adult and aging space as well. And of course, partner with faith-based organizations all over the country, just like yours. And because many of our team members come out of the social services space, as you'll hear, we actually have a lot of social workers on our team. We understand that managing transportation, coordinating transportation can be really challenging for a lot of nonprofits. Often what it looks like is a staff member who already has a busy job, is responsible for supporting lots of clients, also has to wear the hat of transportation coordinator. And it can be challenging and it can be frustrating. And so in building on the go, what we've created is a solution that takes all of that responsibility, all of that work off of your plate so that we can handle all of it. Because we know it's difficult to manage ride coordination and a fleet of vehicles, to have to schedule rides. We know that clients want to be able to schedule rides 7 days a week, but you may not have staff working 7 days a week or into the evenings. We know that lots of people need a variety of ride types. You may not have access to lots of different vehicles. And one of the things we know is really important is monitoring outcomes. That can be challenging as well. So we're able to do all of these things and make it really simple. We support organizations and individuals all across the country. We're in over 300 cities. Since our national launch about 3 years ago, we have supported almost 5,000 riders, provided nearly 100,000 rides, and almost 400,000 minutes on the phone scheduling rides with riders. As I mentioned earlier, that interaction with the live agent who cares deeply about your clients makes all the difference. And the other thing I'll point out is our industry leading no-show rate. There are no other organizations who do what we do and have such a low no-show rate. And so we're really proud of that. We are able to ensure with very high fidelity that riders make the connection with their driver and get where they need to go when they need to get there. We have worked for a long time with Uber Health and with Lyft, and we're not just a vendor of theirs. We actually work very closely with their teams to make sure that we're providing you with the absolute best experience for your clients. And as you can see here, both Uber Health and Lyft recognize the really impactful work we're doing to strengthen communities and also to improve outcomes for individuals. Something that's really important to us, and I know is important to you, is safety and security. And for us, that falls into two buckets. So it is the safety, the physical safety of our riders, your clients, and we're able to ensure that through driver education, screening of all drivers, ongoing driver monitoring. So it's not just one-time screening, but that consistent ongoing monitoring, ensuring that there is vehicle insurance and registration, vehicle inspections, and then the other bucket. So we talked about rider safety, security is the safety, the security of your client data. That's really important to us as well, because we have information in our software. We make sure that it is secure. Everything is HIPAA high-tech compliant, so you can know that your client information is secure with us. I want to introduce you to one of our many amazing team members. This is Tiffany Jones. Tiffany has a Bachelor of Social Work, and this is really her heart's work. She's a partner support liaison, which means she works with our partner organizations. So with people like you to make sure we are implementing the exact program that you want, and doing it in a way that works for your riders. And if there are issues that arise, working with you to problem solve together. And as you can see, as she says, no question's ever too small or silly. She's always here to help. And I can tell you, she truly, truly means that. She really loves what she does in supporting our partners. And I'll also share with you the words of one of our Catholic Charities partners. So this is Catholic Charities Diocese of Joliet. Carly, who's a case manager and aging and disability resource in their Aging and Disability Resource Network services, said, On the Go has been a great program that allows our community members to have access to transportation that they otherwise were not able to access. Now clients can remain more independent and access their needs in the community. And I think she says it better than we ever could. This is exactly what we want for each and every rider, and what we want to be able to provide to you, our potential partners. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Maureen to talk you through some of the nuts and bolts of On the Go and what the experience is like for your clients and also for you.
Perfect. Thank you, Shana. I will take the next few minutes to talk about operationally what the program looks like. So when a new partner signs on with On the Go, we provide a personalized onboarding experience with your dedicated partner support liaison, like Tiffany, who Shana just introduced. It's a quick and easy process to stand the program up for our partners. We train your team in a 60-minute onboarding call, and then we typically have your program launched in the next 5 to 10 business days. We have a dedicated transportation call center. Your riders will call a toll-free number and speak to one of our agents. We understand that these populations that we serve, having someone to talk to makes transportation much easier for them. Our scheduling and dispatch software is extensive and proprietary to On the Go. So each of your riders have a specific client profile in the system where we can manage any requirements or rider eligibility rules. We currently have direct integrations with Lyft and Uber, so those integrations give us the opportunity to provide the most value for our partners and the best ride experience for our riders. We do monitor every ride where we can see it in real time, and we're ensuring that connection between the rider and driver. And then we loosely monitor that trip until the ride completes. So if we see a driver is unable to connect with the rider, we will follow up with that rider and or the partner to ensure everything is okay and see if the rider still needs the ride. Data and reporting, it's important to everybody. You receive a monthly invoice and reporting from us. That basic report is, the date of the trip, the client's name, the pickup and drop off address, the trip purpose, the costs associated with each ride, the final ride status, was it completed, no show, canceled, and then the mileage of each ride. If there are additional data points that are needed, we can usually capture whatever is being asked for. I'll go into a little bit more depth about the call center. We will provide a dedicated toll-free number for your riders to call and speak to one of our agents for scheduling, ride updates, or any concerns. Our representatives also make an outgoing call to each rider when the vehicle is on the way to pick them up. So it's, hello, this is Maureen calling from On the Go. Your red Toyota Camry is going to be there in 5 minutes. Can you please make your way outside and be watching for that vehicle? We are also, we're open 7 days a week from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific. We have Spanish speaking agents in the call center at all hours, and we have access to language line if there are other predominant languages that are being required. Our representatives only work in transportation. This is their vertical. It's what they do all day long. They really understand the rider's needs and the importance of getting to an appointment in a timely manner. And just because I really think it speaks to the special people in our call center who are there on the front lines and their love for their jobs, I will share that since we launched On the Go in 2020, we have not had a single call center agent quit, which is almost unheard of in the call center space. A little bit more about the software. Our software is proprietary and built for On the Go and the work that we do. We have an API integration directly to Lyft and Uber. This allows us to provide the best ride experience for the rider and be cost effective to the partner. So we know an older adult with a walker is not going to be comfortable getting into a large SUV. So if we see that's the driver that's connected, we are going to redispatch that ride to ensure the right vehicle for the client. The integrations are seamless. We are not copying and pasting data. Once that ride is in our system, we do not have to input it a second time. We are also able to push rides to other transportation providers in your area. This may be providers who offer wheelchair accessible rides or a door-to-door service. Our software is configured so a rider that does need that higher level of service, there is no opportunity for us to accidentally push it to Lyft or Uber. We have found that not all of our partners are working under one funding source. They may have multiple grants and government funding. We are able to group riders together in different subsets and keep track of the different payers at the trip level so that when ride detail is provided, partners can easily reconcile those rides. And then our client profiles are customizable. We capture basic demographics such as age, gender, mobility status, but we can also add in custom fields for reporting purposes. Sometimes a grant is asking of you to collect race or income level, and we can definitely add those fields in. And then lastly, our rider eligibility rules are our ability to put together to put different rules in place for your rides. So these rules may be a monthly dollar voucher, a monthly ride count, a geofence, or ride purposes, which allows us to provide the program that you want for your riders. We understand that one size does not fit all, and we will make sure that our software and call center agents are rolling out the program to your parameters. And here's that data and reporting. With your invoice, you do receive ride detail for every ride with the final status of the ride, completed, canceled, or no-show. We have some basic data points, but we can include pretty much whatever you need to ensure the program is running successfully for you and your riders. So for one of our partners, that data includes what county the riders live in. For another, it is billing codes very specific to their organization and riders. So this customizable reporting provides partners with all the data they need to report to government and private funders and track their client outcomes. We also have customer surveys we can run at a regular cadence, whatever makes sense for your organization. A lot of our partners like this data because it allows them to take a deep dive into their client's perspective and what is working. And then finally, I want you to know that all partners have access to the software, and you can see what is happening with your riders at any given time. You can see past rides, live rides that are happening right at that moment, anything that's scheduled in the future, and you can export reports daily if you like. You don't have to wait for us at the end of the month. So as Shana mentioned, we understand that one size does not fit all when it comes to implementing a new program. At On the Go, we are committed to working closely with your team to make sure the program we are rolling out meets your needs and goals. We take the time to understand your business processes, your existing transportation program, and to understand your unique challenges. Then we'll work together to ensure a smooth implementation for your clients. It's a quick and easy process to stand the program up. Like I said earlier, we can have you up and running in 5 to 10 days.
Thanks, Maureen. And hopefully you all got a good glimpse into how On the Go works. We will be taking questions in a couple minutes. So start thinking about anything we didn't say that you're dying to hear. I always like to end speaking about our commitments. And these are commitments to each of you, to our internal team, and to the individuals we serve. For all of us at On the Go, we're committed to putting people first and meeting our partners where you are and responding to individual needs. So as Maureen said, it isn't one size fits all. We want to give you and the clients you're serving exactly what you need in the way you need it. We are sort of data junkies. We love to use data to inform our work and provide you with the data you need to understand how well your program is running. One of the things that is critically important to us is providing exceptional customer service. And we see in our client satisfaction surveys that we continue to provide exceptional service that's also life-changing. For all of us at On the Go and our parent organization, CARS, our work is rooted in gratitude. And it is gratitude to be able to do this impactful work, gratitude for all of our partners, for our riders, our clients. And so that is what guides us every single day. One of the things I will highlight is that even though we're providing exceptional service and our riders and our partners are really happy, we know we're not going to get it right every single time. We know that nobody's perfect. And so we ask questions, we listen, we adapt when things don't go according to plan. And we're able to respond really quickly and really thoughtfully to address any issues that might emerge so that we can continue providing that really great experience. And before we go into our Q&A, I want to thank each of you for joining us. We know that together, Catholic Charities, each of your organizations across the country and On the Go can transform lives with freedom of transportation. And we know we can do it one person at a time. So I will stop there and then we can open it up for questions.
Hi, my name is Rosa, and I'm here to give you all a couple of questions. First of all, getting more into the rides, what type of rides are you able to provide, and is it just ride share?
I can jump on that. Yes, so it is rideshare as well as local transportation providers in your area. So we can do any level of service that is being required, if it's a wheelchair accessible rides or even just like a door-to-door service. We are able to provide those types of rides.
Yes, and I think as Rosa's sharing questions, just want to remind everyone that you can put them in the Q&A. Rosa, are people able to raise hands to share questions aloud as well?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And they do
So
that daily.
yeah, however you'd like to ask your questions, please go ahead and do that. Anything else, Rosa?
Yes. Can you also support volunteer drivers if we already have our own transportation program?
Maureen, do you want to take that one?
Yes, yes. So that it is similar to transportation providers in that we can definitely push rides to any driver type. So if you have a volunteer driver program, we can definitely handle that ride scheduling and pushing to your volunteers.
Yeah, and one of the things I'll add is for some of our partners, we have a couple, maybe there's one that comes to mind who uses volunteer drivers. They love being able to have on the go there as a backup, right? Because, you know, sometimes things happen to volunteers. Sometimes they're unable to show up, and knowing that immediately on demand, they can call us or schedule a ride through our portal and get someone picked up immediately so that they can get to essential medical appointments or go to the store, get their hair done, so that all of those essential things aren't interrupted. So yeah, we're able to work with volunteer drivers, as Maureen mentioned, rideshare, and through our rideshare partnerships, I'll highlight that with Uber and Lyft, we're able to provide what you may be familiar with, their sort of typical curb to curb ride service, but also through Lyft and Uber Assist, a higher level service, we can do door through door as well, in addition to, as Maureen mentioned, those wheelchair accessible rides, anything you need, depending on the needs of your clients.
We did have another question pop in. Can you provide examples of how Catholic Charities agencies are using your service? As if, for instance, you mentioned Catholic Charities Joliet.
Yeah, Maureen, you want to?
Yeah,
I know
sorry,
you're familiar with Joliet. You want to highlight that one?
Struggling to find my mute button. Sorry about that. Yeah,
No
so
problem.
we are partnering with Catholic Charities Joliet, and they are using our rides for their older adults to get back and forth to congregate meals at different senior centers, as well as allowing them some medical rides as well.
Yeah, and maybe Maureen, do you want to talk about, so when you say allowing, sort of what that looks like in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
how it's set up, and maybe sort of, this is the, you know, nonprofit professional needs saying, I'm sure people are asking, like, what about budget and how do we manage it and how do you make sure we don't go over? So what does that look like for Joliet?
Yeah, so that's going into kind of those rider eligibility rules that I was speaking to earlier, and that we can set up any eligibilities that you would like. So for Joliet, they are allowing each one of their enrolled riders, I believe it's 6 round trip rides per month, and we've or no, it must, yes, for medical rides. I'm sorry, they have 2 different vouchers going on,
Okay.
right? So they have rides for congregate meals, where if they have riders going, you know, Monday through Friday, they are allowing a round trip ride every day to that congregate meal and back. And then in addition to that, they allow 6 round trip rides for medical trips, and we are able to differentiate between those rides and ensure that they're being used for those purposes.
Thanks, Maureen. And just, I guess to hone in a little bit on the budget piece, one of the things we do as part of our onboarding is working with partners to understand how much you'd like to spend, and then work together to identify, based on that budget, how many rides can be provided, and then setting up, as Maureen mentioned, a voucher system so that riders get set number of rides a week, a month, or for specific purposes. And it's not just an agent having to remember, wait, what is, you know, Catholic Charities Joliet get? It is set up in our system so that we can only provide that set number and or the specific ride purpose.
Does your program only support older adults?
No, we support everyone, and actually, we work with children's hospitals across the country, so also supporting children and families. I know we support, I'm thinking, refugee populations, people who need to get to work, who are younger people. So we work a lot with older adults, but really any and all populations who need access to rides and don't have that.
Do you have any other examples of how other organizations, in contrast to Joliet, might use the program?
Yeah, Maureen, do you want to talk about maybe another model that's a little different?
Yeah, so I can speak to one of our partners that is providing ride for developmentally disabled adults, and they're using it for workforce development. So we are able to, that is often kind of like a group rides where they would reach out to us and say, hey, there's a job fair and we want to send 20 people from all over the county to the stadium where the job fair is, and we are able to put those rides together for them and just, like ensuring that connection and making sure they're getting to the job fair. And so they've responded back to us that being, not having to worry about getting all of their clients on the same day to a event, that typically would fall under the case manager's workload, that they can call on the go and have us get all of their clients to the event.
Yeah, and sometimes we know in terms of other models that an organization may have different programs are operating or different client types that need to be grouped separately and maybe based on your funding. Group A, maybe it's a group of older adults you're supporting, has access to this number of rides and this funding source. And we're able to set that up in the system. And concurrently, you may be serving refugees who are funded under a different funding source, and for whom you're able to provide a different number of rides or for different specific ride purposes. And we can have that all set up. And so all of that is managed for you automatically. And at the end of the month, when you receive your invoice and your on-the-go report, you're able to see exactly who got what. It's all reconciled, so that if you're seeking reimbursement from funders or need to provide reporting either to private foundations, government agencies, it's really simple for you to do that.
We got another question. Thank you, Deborah, for being so active here. What is the participant experience if you call for a ride and the max amount of rides for that month are fulfilled?
Yeah, so if somebody has, say, 6 round trip rides per month and they're towards the end of the month and they still need a ride, they will call in and the agent won't be able to schedule that ride because they've reached their maximum, and they are typically referred back to the partner. And then at that point, the partner would reach out to the partner liaison and we could add on more trips. And this happens the same day. Our partner support are amazing and are very responsive.
Yeah, and we're happy to to discuss potentially exceptions that you might be willing to make. So as part of that onboarding meeting, right, that quick 60-minute meeting where we're making sure everything is configured exactly as you want it to be, you may say, oh, for this specific rider, if they get to their max, let us know at the end of the month because we might be willing to extend it. Or in this set of circumstances, give us a heads up. Because we might be able to provide more. And so we're able to manage things that way as well, more proactively. And I would just add, Rosa, I think, the other thing that's really important to us is rider education. So letting riders know how many rides they have, making sure that they understand that, and keeping them apprised of, of their ride count so that they're not surprised, because we don't want anyone, to need an essential ride and not to be able to get it.
Right. We did also have another question. Are you able to accommodate car seats and rides for moms with young children?
So any vehicle can accommodate a car seat, Lyft, Uber, or a higher level of service. The rider would need to bring the car seat with them. It's not provided, but yes.
Yeah, and I'll add to that in terms of additional riders, you're able to bring, so if somebody has a caregiver or a child or anybody who needs to ride with them, that can absolutely be accommodated. Typically for rideshare vehicles, it's your average sedan. So likely, 3 people fitting in that back seat. So that's absolutely fine. And we don't charge based on the number of riders. It's just based on the ride.
Great. Somebody also asked, on the budget, for example, if a client is assigned 6 trips per month, if client does not use them all, are they still charged to the organization?
No, we're a nonprofit ourselves, and we know that your dollars are limited and valuable. You're only paying for what you use. So when you sign a contract with On the Go, you are not committing to pay a set amount. You are saying that you are willing to pay up to whatever amount, willing to, you would like us to provide a certain number of rides a month, and we only charge you for what you use on a monthly basis.
So those are all the questions that we've got for today. I'll hand it back to you, Kelly, to close us out. And
Great, thank you. Shana, do you want to put our information back up? Perfect. So we would love to hear from you. You can see all of our contact information here. And but we would love to be, just like what you heard, we would love to be your solution for transportation management, or helpful in those gaps that are needed, and just be able to offer a safe opportunity to increase the quality of life for your clients. So we hope to hear from you soon. And we just thank you so much for joining us here today. And we're always open and available to answer any further questions that come in, but would also love to do some one-on-one calls if you prefer as well. So thank you. And we hope everyone has a good day and get a little bit of time back as well into your day, which is always a great gift.